Innovation Unplugged from the Alabama Community College System's Innovation Center takes you inside Alabama's workforce development. Join us for enlightening conversations with community leaders and industry experts showcasing experiences, addressing key issues, and celebrating successes in the workforce initiatives across the state.
Hey, welcome back, Innovation Unplugged fans, to what we call episode 100. And if you're looking on YouTube, you'll see it's a very special episode. We are in Chancellor Baker's office at the Alabama Community College System, and we are so excited to celebrate episode 100. With me today is Matt Heaton as our co-host. Hello, Matt.
Hello, how are you?
Good, very good. Thanks for being here. Nice suit.
Thanks. Normally nice shirt. Today it's a nice suit.
Perfect. And on my right is our very special guest for this episode is Chancellor Baker from the Alabama Community College System.
Appreciate you asking.
Yeah. Well, you said yes, and we know you're quite possibly the most busy man in Alabama. So we're just happy to have this conversation with you. And really, episode 100. So just to set for the new listeners, we've been doing the Innovation Center business for about 5 years. And we've just recently we're probably at 61,000 registrations, not duplicated. Well, that is duplicated some, but 61,000 opportunities for people to level up. And so roughly 90-something courses for people to take. But this is a big milestone for us with a podcast, but also reaching the 5th year of what we do. And so we just wanted to celebrate that moment and pick your brain a little bit and let the audience know kind of where it came from. But before we do all that, for those new listeners who haven't heard about you yet, where did you come from, and how did you get right here?
I'm originally from Coffee County, out in the country from a little town called New Brockton. Still a special place to me.
Mm-hmm, sure.
And after high school, played sports in high school, and just enjoyed, had a great life. Went to Troy University, and from there got a scholarship, went to graduate school, majored in business. My plan was to teach in college, and I taught some in undergraduate school, but when I was in graduate school and teaching, student teaching, and I decided that wasn't exactly what I wanted to do, but continued in the world of business and ended up working in the home office of a life insurance company for a number of years because Uncle Sam decided they needed my services during the Vietnam War. I joined the Army Reserve and spent time there. Following that, got into education really by just accident. My wife was in education as a teacher, and I kind of followed that and ended up spending a number of years in education, 11 years as a local superintendent, then came to Montgomery as assistant state superintendent. Got out of the business and spent 12 years as president of the investment banking firm, which I own part of. Then we sold to a larger firm, out-of-state firm. And I spent several years just doing a variety of different things, legislative activities and real estate development. Managed the gubernatorial campaign in 94. The governor prevailed, so I served as state finance director. But I've had a lot of experience in working across the board with legislators in a variety of different kinds of jobs in the industry, and just continue to have an interest in public education. Eventually did some legislative work for the community college system, and the chancellor asked me one day, he said, well, look, when you're doing work for us, we got an office here. And about 3 months later, he asked me if I would serve as his chief of staff. So that's how I ended up in the community college system.
Got it. It's an incredible story route, but that experience, you learned something along each way.
Absolutely.
And you kept that somewhere in your storage for later. So when you were here at the system office, you were the chancellor, and then COVID happened, and we came out of that, and we needed something for workforce that was different. I think was the general impression that the world said, workforce. So, and we came to be in 2020, 2021. When you first said, hey, we're going to make the Innovation Center a thing for the community college system, what problem were you trying to solve?
Well, it happened one evening. I was having dinner with Chris Cox here in the office and some folks from the hospitality industry. And we were just having dinner and talking about the difficulty of finding people who worked for the hospitality industry. And Chris and I began talking about, well, what can we do to help that? And how can we go about the business of maybe responding to the need for training and training in a period of time that could be allotted, which wasn't by the semester or by the quarter or by the degree.
Certainly.
And so we came up with this idea of developing a training program specifically for people who wanted to go directly into a particular kind of job. And we began to develop the thought, and how can we implement this? We were approaching the time to prepare budget requests for the legislative body. So I went over, sit down with the governor, the current governor, and explained to her what I wanted to do and what the system, our thoughts about this. And I guess it kind of really appealed to her because her budget included the $10 million that we started with. And from there, we started the innovation program and housed it in North Alabama. And you were one of the first people on board, I believe.
I was.
And
thrilled.
So it just was meeting a need for industries, companies, organizations that needed someone on a fairly immediate basis that required some training, but it wasn't the kind of training that would fit within a quarter or a semester, but it was the kind of training that if you just stripped it down to the exact job that is needed and provide training for that. And it also gave an opportunity for a lot of people to go to work on a fairly immediate basis. And that was the problem we were trying to address. And that was how we really came about the business of, and we conducted some training programs and had good results of operating restaurants and those kinds of things. And we just began to say, well, hey, this may be a way to deal with other issues.
And it was. Back then, so that was 2020, 2021. If you had said, hey, in 1 year, this is what success will look like, what would you have said?
I would have been surprised. I would have been surprised that but the more we begin to develop the program, the more the possibility of its need became obvious to us. And the more we begin to formulate the plan so that there was a specific plan.
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of began opening up opportunities. And then as we started talking to different kinds of businesses and industry, it just kind of grew. And I'm excited about what I think it can do long term.
Us too.
Along those lines, here we are, spring 2026. The Innovation Center's been rolling since 2021. What impact that the Innovation Center has had sticks out to you the most?
I tell this story. I had developed a program of teaching students, a variety of students from all ages and male or female, it didn't matter, skid steer operations. This lady brought her son, who was in his 20s, he had some learning difficulties and had never been able to succeed at anything. He went through the program. There were people standing there watching the program and watching the training.
Mm-hmm.
And a gentleman there saw this kid. I say kid, he was a teenager, several middle teenager, and watched his results. Hired him on the spot. Today he's still working, and he has a job, and he's rewarded. It's been rewarding for him, for his parents, and it's just a good example of what can happen. Somebody may not fit the mold for the exact form of this is what you have to do, but they may just fall right into an opportunity to see something that they recognize they can do, and they begin to feel comfortable about that.
Yeah.
So I think that there are just no limits around what we can do working with business and industry. And we're facing in this state today major demand for employees with the shipbuilding, the submarine building, with the rocket building, and with a variety of other kinds of activities all across the state. There's a lot of industry demand for more employees, more workers. And we need to be able to tell people, for you putting forth the effort on a reasonable amount of time, we can reduce the requirements of the work here down to a point where it's easily understood or more rapidly understood by the learner.
Right.
And you can go from unemployment to employment in a much shorter period of time than the promise of a degree or certification or whatever the case may be.
Right. Where have you seen the strongest response? And it may be colleges, industry, communities, or a kind of collaboration of all.
I think as the Innovation Center is so mobile, and it goes to the various colleges, and all of a sudden they discover that we're training people how to operate a dozer, or how to operate a paver, or to do a variety of kinds of things across the state. I believe now we have like 80 or so.
Close to 90 total. Yes, sir.
Curriculums that are already developed. Now, we're taking this serious. We're not casual about what you have to do.
Right.
We've developed it to a science almost, and hired people who had that level of expertise. But I think it opens up a world of opportunity for business and industry to support what the Innovation Center is doing, and a way to get employees in and get them trained and on the job in a hurry, and not only on the job, but they're getting a paycheck.
Absolutely.
And that's what the goal is. So I think there's an endless opportunity here.
You almost answered our next question, was how has this program changed the way businesses can work with our colleges in the industry? But I would say the slight pivot to that is how fast should we keep moving to mesh the businesses and the colleges and the communities together into these programs?
I don't see a break. I think it's absolutely, if we're going to succeed as a state, there's a population of people that will never have a college degree, never go through a certification program of extended. It doesn't mean they're in any way diminish their importance.
Right.
It's just people choose different ways of managing what they need to be responsible for. And as we continue to grow and become sophisticated in the development of programs in concert with business and industry, I think there's no end to this.
Well, I agree. And just so you know, one thing we're working to do with our heavy equipment series, time out. You know that we had those simulators that just came on. You've seen the press on those. Matt's been doing a great job of putting those everywhere, every corner of the state. But with those simulators, there are different levels of operation for each machine. We have the ability to build our courses out to match those levels. So we can go from simulation to theory to hands-on, and now we can do multi-level operator. And we can do that with other courses too.
Well, I would be disappointed if what we're doing is all that we were just doing to begin. I think the opportunity to have an open attitude about what it takes for someone to be trained to accurately and adequately serve in this role as this particular employee doing this job. As we become more aware of all of that, the training can become more mobile in design. It can become much less expensive than to have everything in a building somewhere established that you only can go there. I just think there's an unlimited opportunity to open this up in a way of serving the community that at a level that we've never been able to.
Agreed.
That's a good segue. So for the future, looking ahead, where do you see the Innovation Center going next?
Well, the Innovation Center has been it's headquartered in North Alabama, and it probably will continue to be headquartered there. But I see locations established around the state in concert with schools, not a school, but with a group of schools. And so that the training becomes more readily available. And then in addition to that, within regions of the state, there's different kinds of demands for work. And as we become more specific to what is needed in a region, then I think we can better serve the total population.
I think a great application of that is I've heard rumblings of one of these regional places at Enterprise, in the Enterprise area. So a huge agricultural area, and we have a drone operator course, and one of our partners in filming that was an agricultural drone tech who sprays fields. Right? And there's how many acres in southeast Alabama that could be sprayed by a drone?
Tremendous.
Right? And so that's one of those things that would be a super regional application of one of our courses.
And it makes the cost of training so reasonable as compared to having to collect everybody in one location in the state. And so I think that's our role, to make it readily available, only to the extent that we can maintain the quality of what we're doing.
Right.
We have to do that. But as we go forward, I think it has almost a revolutionary approach to providing training across the state and across the country.
Agree. Our colleges are doing a very good job of embedding these courses in an articulation path, so the students can take these courses and work right into the 4-credit program that matches it. So I think they've done a super job with your leadership, our leadership, our support, your leadership. Final thoughts on all things Innovation Center, Chancellor Baker?
Well, I've been around state government in many ways over many years. I've watched education. I've watched a struggle with education in impoverished areas, not just always in impoverished areas, but in different areas of the state. I think this offers an opportunity that is so much more flexible. The response and the opportunities become so almost immediate that it's more attractive to those people who are having difficulties. And I think the growth is just going to continue. I think we're going to improve in what we're doing and how we're delivering and how we determine what needs to be delivered. But I think it's unlimited.
Well, thank you so much for letting us come to your office today and have this milestone of a conversation and just to celebrate from your vision to people's lives being changed and improved. More money at home, better quality of life.
Absolutely.
Mothers and fathers being able to be mothers and fathers because they have a little bit better standing. So we are so thankful for your vision and your support.
Yep.
Matt, final thoughts?
Kind of echoing what you said. Thank you for your willingness to sit down with us today to help us celebrate episode 100. Can't ever thank you enough for the vision and the leadership you showed for us and the community college system as a whole. And we're excited about what the future holds.
Yeah, we are. And we have a lot of fun too, just so you know. Like,
That's good.
Fun is good. Yeah, fun.
Well, it's fun to see people succeed
Absolutely.
when the light finally comes on
Mm-hmm.
and they can see I'm going to get a paycheck or I'm going to get a promotion or whatever the case may be. That's fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was fun to see their smiles. So good. Well, thank you again, Chancellor Baker, for joining us today.
Yes.
Matt, wrap this thing up, man.
This is going to conclude another episode of Innovation Unplugged. Any of the information we talked about today, Innovation Center Skills for Success, you can visit our website at trainforalabama.com. It's trainforalabama.com. This is going to conclude, again, another one of our episodes of Innovation Unplugged. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow on all your social media platforms. Have a great afternoon.